Hey Cowboys fans, let's jump right into it because there's a lot to unpack after the latest stretch of games. Over the past month, one thing has been glaringly obvious. The Dallas Cowboys offense has struggled to maintain the same dominance in the second half as they show in the first. It is a little surprising given that in multiple games they have started strong, putting up solid points early, sometimes hitting 20 or more in the first half alone. Yet, when the third quarter rolls around, the momentum seems to falter, and the team struggles to close out games the way their fans know they should. This raises some important questions about execution, adjustments at halftime, and whether the play calling is really taking advantage of the talent on the roster. On paper, the stats can look good. 200 rushing yards in a game is nothing to scoff at, and when you factor in passing numbers, the totals can appear impressive. But when you break down the efficiency and the ability to finish drives, there's a gap between potential and performance. Against teams that are not elite, the Cowboys should be dominating more convincingly. There have been moments when 40 points should have been on the scoreboard, and the fact that they fell short leaves fans with a sense of unease even after a win. The defensive side of the ball also deserves a hard look. Despite the offense putting up points, the defense continues to show vulnerabilities. When a team like the Commanders is able to score more than 20 points, it speaks to structural issues rather than just isolated mistakes. Allowing explosive plays and long gains repeatedly exposes weaknesses in scheme and personnel. Journeyman quarterbacks have been able to move the ball effectively, and even backups are able to produce notable yardage against the Cowboys' defense. This is a trend that cannot be ignored, especially with playoff aspirations in mind. There are critical gaps in the secondary, and the linebacker core is not as instinctive or reactive as needed for a team that aims to be elite. Some players have shown flashes, but consistency has been lacking. The coaching approach, especially in creating a bend but don't break defense, seems to have backfired at times because opponents have been able to consistently convert on key plays. This is not just a bad day here or there. It is a pattern that suggests the defense will need serious attention in the offseason. Turning back to the offense, the offensive line has been another point of concern. The mix of starters and backups has not always meshed effectively, leaving gaps for opposing defenses to exploit. Some positions have been experimented with, and while there have been decent performances, there is still a clear mismatch in talent and execution in certain spots. Dak Prescott has been relatively efficient in protecting the ball and managing the game, but there have been sacks and pressures that highlight the ongoing struggles in line play. Adjustments will be necessary to ensure that the quarterback is consistently provided the protection needed to execute at a high level. Some players may be better suited for different positions along the line, and the coaching staff will need to make careful evaluations before heading into the next season. When it comes to roster decisions, one of the biggest questions surrounds George Pickens. His contributions have been solid, and the team has signaled an intent to retain him, potentially using the franchise tag to ensure continuity in the receiving core. Pickens has been a reliable option, stretching the field and making key catches when needed, and his presence adds a necessary dimension to the offense. It seems likely that he will remain a central piece moving forward, but there will be ongoing discussion about how to maximize his impact while also addressing other gaps on the roster. Keeping talent like Pickens is crucial if the Cowboys hope to build a more balanced team that can compete at a higher level. Looking ahead to the draft, the team's current position is intriguing. After the latest games, the draft pick placement has shifted slightly, influenced by results from other teams. This affects strategy, particularly regarding top targets. While some prospects might seem like ideal fits, the reality of draft positioning will dictate options and priorities. The team has to balance immediate needs with long-term development, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Pass rushers, linebackers, and cornerbacks are all areas where upgrades could make an immediate difference. The decisions made here will have ripple effects for years to come, impacting how the team approaches free agency and internal development. Special teams and situational play also cannot be overlooked. While they might not grab headlines in the same way as offensive explosions or defensive stops, small mistakes and missed opportunities in these areas can significantly affect game outcomes. Field position kicking efficiency, and coverage units have all been factors in close games, and the Cowboys will need to address these areas to ensure more consistent performances. Even seemingly minor improvements can translate into more wins and better positioning in the standings. The mental aspect of the game has also been under scrutiny. Maintaining focus through long seasons, adjusting to adversity, and handling pressure situations all play into the broader evaluation of a team's readiness. The Cowboys have shown resilience at times, but lapses in concentration or execution at critical junctures have cost them opportunities to put games away more decisively. Leadership on and off the field, particularly from key veterans, will be an essential factor in moving forward. Coaching adjustments, communication, and situational awareness will all be critical in maximizing the team's strengths while minimizing weaknesses. Offensive coordinators and their decisions in play calling continue to draw analysis. While the ground game has performed well in stretches, and the passing game has produced yardage and key completions, finishing drives and capitalizing on scoring opportunities remains inconsistent. There is a balance to strike between creative schemes and fundamental execution, and refining this balance will be key for the next season. Evaluating what worked and what fell short will provide a blueprint for adjustments, especially when preparing for playoff-caliber opponents who will not allow mistakes to go unpunished. Player development, timing, and chemistry are all interwoven into the success of any play-calling strategy. In summary, the Cowboys are a team of considerable talent and potential, but there are clear areas that need attention both on offense and defense. Second-half adjustments, defensive consistency, offensive line cohesion, and strategic roster management are all critical components that will define their success moving forward. The draft, free agency, and off-season coaching decisions will all play a major role in determining whether the team can transform potential into results and establish itself as a contender rather than simply a team with flashes of brilliance. Fans have plenty to discuss, analyze, and anticipate as the season winds down and the focus shifts to building a stronger, more complete team for the future. As we continue breaking down the Cowboys, the attention naturally shifts to player development and the nuances that can make or break a season. Dak Prescott has been a focal point, and his performance continues to be a mixture of brilliance and moments that leave fans questioning the team's potential ceiling. He has shown the ability to lead drives efficiently, threading the needle on passes under pressure and executing timing routes with precision. Yet, there are moments where sacks and hurried throws have led to turnovers or stall drives, often highlighting the gaps in protection or mismatches in scheme. It is clear that his decision-making has been solid overall, but the offensive line and play design must support his strengths consistently if the Cowboys hope to contend against elite teams. The pressure on Prescott is compounded by expectations, as every game seems to hold the weight of past disappointments and the potential of what this team could achieve with more consistency. Meanwhile, the running game has provided flashes of dominance, but also inconsistencies that have limited its overall impact. There have been games where the ground attack has moved the chains effectively, sustaining drives and opening up opportunities in the passing game. In other contests, missed holes, poor timing, or defensive adjustments have forced the Cowboys to abandon the run earlier than desired. Maintaining balance between the run and pass is crucial, especially when facing playoff-caliber defenses that can exploit an offense that becomes one-dimensional. The offensive coaching staff must continue to refine blocking schemes, identify defensive tendencies, and optimize player positioning to ensure that the rushing game is a reliable weapon rather than an intermittent advantage. On the defensive side, the need for targeted improvements has never been clearer. The Cowboys have talent in key positions, yet execution and alignment have faltered in critical situations. Missed tackles, blown assignments, and the inability to consistently contain explosive plays have been recurring issues. Even when individual players perform admirably, systemic flaws in coverage schemes or gap discipline allow opposing offenses to capitalize. Defensive coaching must address these patterns, potentially considering changes in personnel or scheme adjustments that emphasize reaction, anticipation, and versatility. The ability to contain big plays while maintaining aggression and discipline is paramount, especially in tight games where a single explosive play can swing momentum. Fans have seen glimpses of this capability, but the inconsistency has prevented the defense from truly controlling games the way the offense sometimes can. Special teams, while often overlooked, continue to influence field position and game flow. Effective coverage units, reliable kicking, and disciplined returns can subtly shift momentum and provide crucial advantages in tight contests. Small improvements in this area can lead to significant differences over the course of season. Coaches and players alike must recognize the impact of these phases of the game and prioritize consistency. A well-executed punt coverage or a long return can set the tone for a possession and create scoring opportunities that may not be obvious when simply reviewing box scores. Roster management and strategic planning also remain at the forefront of off-season considerations. Decisions regarding contracts, potential trades, and draft priorities will shape the team's trajectory for years to come. Retaining key contributors like George Pickens, while also addressing positional gaps, is a delicate balancing act. The team's approach to free agency and the draft must align with a clear vision of how to build a sustainable contender. Evaluating talent across positions, anticipating opponent strategies, and projecting player development are all critical to ensuring that investments in personnel translate to meaningful performance improvements on the field. Player health and conditioning are additional factors that influence performance and consistency. Injuries to key contributors can derail game plans and force unplanned adjustments, often highlighting the depth or lack thereof in certain positions. Managing workloads, recovery, and injury prevention will be critical as the team looks to compete at a high level over the full season. Depth players who can step in seamlessly are invaluable, and developing these backups to perform at starter-level intensity is a priority for coaching staff and management alike. Leadership within the locker room also plays a significant role in shaping team culture and performance. Veterans who demonstrate accountability, maintain focus under pressure, and mentor younger players help set a standard that can elevate the entire roster. Conversely, lapses in leadership or inconsistent effort from key figures can erode cohesion and limit the team's potential. Dallas has a mix of seasoned veterans and emerging talent, and how these dynamics are managed will be evident in both close games and high-stakes situations. Leadership extends beyond individual effort to encompass communication, morale, and the ability to maintain composure during adversity, all of which directly impact in-game execution. As the Cowboys prepare for off-season evaluations, coaching decisions will be heavily scrutinized. The balance between innovation and fundamentals, risk-taking and discipline, is delicate but essential for success. Offensive schemes must maximize talent while adjusting to defensive trends, and defensive schemes must prioritize containment, pressure, and adaptability. Every decision, from play calling to personnel deployment, contributes to the overall effectiveness of the team and its ability to compete against top-tier opponents. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely, dissecting choices and debating what might be improved, all while understanding that subtle adjustments often create the difference between a good team and a championship contender. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Dak Prescott has reportedly shaken the Dallas Cowboys locker room to its core, and sources close to the team suggest that tensions have reached unprecedented levels. According to insiders, Prescott exploded in a meeting that left teammates stunned, with one anonymous player reportedly stating, "No one on the roster could accept what he did." The exact details of the incident remain murky, but the fallout is already making waves across the NFL community. The Cowboys, traditionally known for their disciplined locker room culture, appear to be grappling with internal strife rarely seen at this scale. While Prescott has long been considered a leader on and off the field, sources indicate that his latest actions, or perhaps words, have created a fracture in the team dynamic. Some players are reportedly questioning whether the quarterback's approach aligns with the organization's values, sparking heated debates behind closed doors. Fans and analysts alike are now speculating about the long-term implications. Will this incident affect on-field performance? Could it alter the team's strategy or roster decisions? The Cowboys management has not commented publicly, fueling the rumor mill even further. Social media chatter hints at a mix of disbelief and frustration among the fan base, with many wondering if the franchise is entering a full-blown locker room crisis. Veteran observers note that Prescott's intensity has always been part of his appeal, but they caution that the current situation may require careful handling. Dak is passionate, no doubt, but leadership comes with a balance, said one former NFL coach off the record. When that balance tips, even the strongest locker rooms can feel the strain. While the NFL world watches closely, speculation about potential consequences continues to grow. Trade rumors, contract renegotiations, and coaching interventions are all part of the conversation, but nothing has been confirmed. For now, the Cowboys are navigating what insiders describe as a storm of emotions and opinions, with Prescott at the center of it all. Whether this episode becomes a turning point or just a temporary blip remains uncertain. One thing, however, seems clear. The Dallas Cowboys are facing an internal challenge that could redefine their season, and all eyes are on Dak Prescott. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.